context of the season, particularly as far as Blackburn are concerned, Casey.
Definitely, they'll need this one. They played Doncaster the last round, got 2 winnable games in the next 2 weeks, but they wouldn't want to drop a game on the opposition.
Well, they're 6
3 ahead of them. Yeah. So I think they've got the win in them today if they could just find a way to go get the ball through the middle of the sticks, obviously.
Yeah.
They're having enough shots at goal. And Esmond, what have you got on the boundary line?
Yeah, just a very quick one from the Vermont camp at 3/4 time. It's just really movement on the ball. Just make sure that we get possession of it and look for each other and really be smart with the football when it comes in the last term.
Parker wins the first centre clearance, gets it long into the forward 50, held it out to his best, and he gets the free kick, played for it, put his arms out, but he was tackled by Clay and gives away the free kick. Izzy just outside of his range. It'll take his best from Jake. An obvious one,
Jeez,
I know.
Gav.
Groaning.
He's scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Well, I would have said it anyway. But it's Jake Best putting it to the goal line. And see the wind bring it back to 10 metres out. It held up that much as it got towards the goal line. Over the top, Schneider couldn't get the kick over his shoulder through the middle, but it's still bobbling around. Big opportunity.
Well
Purdy
done.
gets tackled
Great.
as he had a shot from the left pocket, and he couldn't bend it through because he's been knocked over and out of bounds.
Sensational work there by McCauley, wasn't it? He's dived across at the last second. It's just desperation that Blackburn need if they're to get back into this game.
Oh, Johns again grabs it, but he's taken down. He's been held. The umpire said he dropped it as soon as he got tackled, and then he got pulled to the ground, says the umpire without the ball, and Johns will take a lucky free kick.
Well, he deserves a goal, Johns. He's been fantastic today, absolutely brilliant, and would be the icing on the cake to what's gone pretty close to being a best on-ground performance, I reckon.
I think that's one of the umpires. I see it, and I'll just give it, but really, it was just there, if at all. Johns, from 20 metres out, he's seen these opponents miss from that position, but he makes no mistake and extends the lead out to 27. 54 plays 27 early in the 4th term.
Well, he has deserved a goal, as you said, Dan, right throughout the afternoon. He's been threatening. A couple of bounces didn't go his way in that 3rd quarter, but, gee, he is a damaging player. He's probably been the best on the ground at this point.
I think so.
Certainly has, and a contender for our Tobin Brothers Player of the Day, gents.
Yes, no funeral for him, though.
Is he not a dead cert, though?
Not a dead set.
Going to knock this one off before it gets out of control. Here's Talmanelli. He's got the pun there in that one as well. As that one kicked out there by Cruz. He goes in towards the forward line, but strong mark taken there by Carey. He switches the play out now wide now here to Himes, and he takes the mark on the half-back flank outer side here for Vermont. There's 2.5 gone now here in the 3rd term. Vermont with the first score of the quarter, and they're off to the start they wanted. Here's Perry now, deep in his own pocket, decides to go right back to where it came from. And the mark taken out there by Himes as he's going to bring it back in here for Vermont. Told to play on now here by the umpire. A kick now up towards the centre wing, a congested centre wing at that. Vale, Buxton and Ellis there for the Vermont. Neither of them could win the footy. Footy on the deck as in goes Johns there for Vermont. And umpire says, I'll have it.
I think just seeing the conversion by Johns takes me back to Forbes' miss from a similar position.
Did it twice.
Yeah, and they would have been in front halfway through the 3rd term. Now they find themselves 27 points down.
And that one kicked out on the full, and we're going to play it down. I believe that's Cruz. He looks to be okay, though.
Favouring his wrist, his left wrist. He should be all right, though.
So Vermont to bring the ball back in. 3.5 gone, 3-9-27 trailing Vermont are Blackburn, who are 7-12-54. Here comes the kick now up towards centre wing, high up and under. Plenty of players under it. One of them there was Ellis, and paid the mark in the end.
If you hold raffle ticket E88, you've won it here at Blackburn.
Ripping meat tray as well, my
Public service announcement.
Here come Vermont now in the direction there. Akrakis couldn't take the mark. Good spoil from behind there from Dawson. The ball on the deck and out into the pocket. Clay's there for Blackburn. Vermont now trying to get it through Davidson, holding the ball, the call, and a good tackle there by Clay. And a free kick awarded here in the back pocket here for Blackburn. 4 minutes gone, final term. And Clay, well, Vermont doing a good job of clogging up the half-back line as he doesn't really have much to kick to. Might go short here to Hammond on the near side. Decides to play on here and gets his kick up now here towards the half-forward line. Vermont players are plenty there. And one of them there was Whale Buxton, couldn't bring the ball down. Ball comes out now here to Hyams. Hyams, short kick there in the direction there of Howard. He takes the mark, Howard moves in. The shot on goal, it might trickle through the goal square, it does! What a goal there, that's a contender for the 5-row goal of the game. That's 8-12-60, playing Blackburn 3-9-27, 4.5 gone here, final term.
Damo, we talk about players that deserve a goal. Howard's had a good day today, and that off a step has been absolutely brilliant.
And he did his ankle doing it.
Yeah, he's in trouble here. Howard.
He looks in a lot of discomfort.
Yeah, so that's a costly goal as you've ever seen one, I think.
As soon as he kicked it, I reckon he landed awkwardly, and he's run himself into a bit of trouble with that ankle.
We don't see that often, though. It's quite innocuous as you kick the ball and land after you kick the ball, unless you've been pelted to the ground to your ankle.
Rucks go at it. Blackburn need this centre clearance, but they can't clear the centre circle until it's picked up by McIntyre, and he gets the bouncing ball towards a leading player, but it won't go the way of Blackburn. Tim Johnson's there to help out at half-back for Vermont. Hooks his kick back to the centre wing, where it's a contest for the ball. At ground level, it's picked up by the Vermont players, so they'll load up a long kick to Best at centre forward. He finally gets onto it. He's closely checked by Faulkner. The ball comes off them to the wing. Best picks it up on the bounce, hands it off to a teammate in Wadley, but it bounces away from him, and now Blackburn get out of trouble through Barker. So Parker gives it to Harkins. Harkins finds a teammate out wide on the left flank, and Blackburn are quick to play on, trying to find that next pass, hit the target, but again it's a missed target. Schneider is there to mop up. He's got some help from Hyams. Hyams gets it to Whale Buxton. Tominello was the tallest one there to bring it to ground. Wadley picks it up. He's ragdoll tackled. Underneath tunnelled was Ellis. I wonder if he'll get the free kick. He will. And Ellis is quick to handball it on to some stationary players, but they've got plenty of time to think about their options, as Blackburn have got the numbers on half-back, and they'll mop up through Hammond. It's Nathan Hammond who gets it on his teammate in Clay. Clay finds another pass, hitting the target with Prendergrass. Left of centre forward, the point of the square, and he's looking all darting eyes, left, right, centre corridor he looks. Now he just hands it off to a runner. So they'll try to get it going. Kenworthy gets another hand pass off to the flying kick from Hudson, gets it long, flies, taken,
yes.
The back of the pack, it's Hammond, who stands tall and takes the mark as he falls to the ground, and he's quick to bounce up and set himself for the kick towards Central Road.
Oh, MOD, mark of the day. How about that for judgment? And he hung on to it on the second bite as well.
So the left footer from 20 metres out, a bit of a hook, but it goes through the middle, and Blackburn on the board again. Hammond gets the goal, he's second for the day, 4-9-33, 27-point game as Vermont are 8-12-60.
Hate to point it out, but that did go from left to right, but Hammond is a fantastic
That's because
player.
he's a left footer hooking the ball.
No, that was the win. Let's head boundary side.
Just at three-quarter time, Tom Schneider from the Vermont said, he just addressed the team and said, let's get the first 2 goals and put Blackburn away. They've got 2 goals, but Jake Hammond has just replied back with 1 now.
Still a long way to come back, though, for the Birders.
Thanks for that, Esmond. I'll get Gav Casey and Damo to touch gloves and go back to their corners. Here's Tominello, wins the tap down now. McComb gets the kick out, and then towards the direction here of Purdy. Couldn't win the footy. Ball in dispute as Macaulay in there as well, and we'll have a bounce here at centre half forward.
I don't think I'll win that bout, just quiet.
Oh, you got the reach, mate. You just got to keep your distance. As we go back down boundary side to Max.
Cam Howard, after that last goal's come off, he's iced up. He looks like he's done for the day there, boys.
Thanks, Max, as that one moved in there looking for Best. He tried to burst his way through. Vermont trying to lock it in. Quick hands there from Ellis and hands there from Schneider. This opens up to Best, breaks the tackle, has a shot on goal, and he's hit the post. Well deserved a goal, and well, he's going to get a free kick. Silly there from Parker. And Best might get the goal he deserved. Dan Sensick.
Very undisciplined play there, but there's no need to do that, is there? He's missed the goal. Just get on with it. You're 28 points down. Yeah. He's got to get moving.
Well, as Gav said earlier, let them know about it, but no need for physicality like that.
And he's got the 25.
It's just a certainty now.
And well, this a gimme 6 points. Yeah. Seven points, yeah.
It's a downfield because the kick out was being taken, so Best doesn't get the kick, actually.
Yeah.
Looks a bit spewing.
I reckon we could kick this one.
So the margin, Creek is going to take it from dead in front and taking his time about it. Well, just told to play on now here by the umpire. and he puts this one into next week, and then adds it to 9-13-67. They lead Blackburn 4-9-33, nearly halfway mark of this fourth term.
Oh, gee, well, that was a classic 7-point play right there. It's, you know, we touch on the undisciplined play by Blackburn there. Any hope they had of a resurgence has just gone out the window.
Yeah, and once again, I think just the disposal of Vermont has been far superior, hasn't it? When you talk about hitting your targets, we've seen in a couple of passages of play recently, Blackburn haven't been able to make that transition.
Someone's been sent off.
No, blood
rule. Okay. Jumped the gun.
Andrew Ellis coming off.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blackburn just haven't been able to hit their targets as they make the transition out of defence, and I think it's cost them. Vermont have been far more polished with their disposal, particularly in the second half. So
Mitchell Dawson goes off for Blackburn with the blood rule. His replacement comes back on, the man that gave away the penalty.
Not much of a punishment.
Yeah, Parker sheepishly comes back and says, "Hi guys." Yeah, it's back in the middle. Chance for the clearance. Blackburn bounces the ball, eludes them. Best runs at it with leading the way Faulkner for Blackburn. So he runs his way out of defence, and long bomb from half back to half forward doesn't suit Blackburn. Vermont have got the numbers through Crocker to pick it up, but he's been tackled to the ground and not penalised for holding the ball because he had no prior. It'll be a ball up outer side. 67 plays 33, and it's not just scores conceded, it's the missed opportunities have killed Blackburn's day. Hammond notes, Harkins takes the mark at centre forward, will look for Hammond, goes in his direction, pushed to the ground, it's going to be a free.
Oh.
And he was tackled to the ground when the ball was up high, and Hammond will not waste any time at all with the left boot.
There was no need to drag it to the ground because there were already two players on Hammond when he went for that contest. They have a floater across the pack, Vermont, in the form of Lockie Carey, just to prevent that treatment and that stoppage, and there was no need to push him to the ground.
Lehman tackled Hammond to the ground as he looks for the third with the left boot, the left to right hook, meant it hooked all the way to, he's hooked it with his own boot, and he's missed to the right for a minor score.
I think that was a bit of a breeze there.
All right, we'll go to Boundary Riders to tell us more, but it's Blackburn missing their opportunities. 4-10-34, trailing Vermont 9-13-67.
2 against 1, Damo.
Clutching at straws.
Call a bit of help and just let you down.
So in comes the kick now into the half-back line. The intended target there was Perry, and he takes it on the chest, about 50 out from his own goal. And he decides to send the ball. Davidson goes by hand, and away come Vermont now here through Carey. His kick up towards the intended target there, McComb. Lost it on the deck. McCafferty's in there as well, and that goes over the boundary line for a throw-in. So 12 and a half gone now here, final term. And quite the margin, 33 points to be exact. In a long, well, huge mountain to climb for Blackburn if they'd have any sniff. And that's exasperating by the minute as this kick comes back in towards Hammond territory. It bobbles up and taken now here by McCafferty. He's got plenty of space, decides to switch the play wide. Now here's Mendez with the footy and a bit of ground in front of him, runs out of said ground and over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in.
It was very laconic as he went over the boundary line there.
It's just put the cue in the rack.
And that's why Fagan called for a deliberate. If you're ever going to give it, maybe that was the occasion.
Should have been.
So boundary throw in near side. And doing the ruck again there is Tominello. Couldn't win the tap down. Whale Buxton digs at it on the deck, and trying to burst through there was McComb. He's wrapped up, and we'll have yet another ball up. So 13 minutes gone. Tap one there by Whale Buxton. Eludes Mendez. That one goes over the line. Trying to gather this one in here is Lockie Johns. The kick up towards, that was knocked down by Clay and gathered in here by Faulkner. He goes by hand down here to Kenworthy, bursting through the middle. Gets control of the footy. Kenworthy fakes, goes by hand now for Harkins. It was a little bit too much for him to handle. Snatched up by McCafferty. He gets the kick away in the direction there of Reed. As the ball hits the deck, and as a couple of players do too. Good tackle applied there by McCauley, and Stacks on the mill, holding the ball. And Vermont win themselves another free kick. So the pendulum firmly shifting in the way of Vermont here in this final term. And Johnson's going to win the free kick and take it now here on the half-back flank for Vermont. And just looking to slow the play down and run the clock out somewhat. As the kick, well, that was all Blackburn players, and that being Luke Parker. He plays on quickly now, tries to send it for Conker. The kick was intercepted, and away come Vermont. 2 on 0, break the other way. In comes the kick. It's bouncing through. What a goal! And that was Andrew Ellis, and he makes sure of it. 10-13-73, 4-10-34, 14 and a half gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Dan Sensic.
Well, if you're going to switch across the ground like that, your kick has to be absolutely spot on. Vermont are very good at making teams pay when they do make errors like that. And as we've seen, they can cut you to shreds in a matter of seconds.
That's it.
Well, any side will. When all the defenders are pushing up to be that link-up player, there's no one back to save you when the turnover comes. So, yeah, that's a big mistake. You've got to hit your target. Conquer, no chance.
And there was too much space inside the 450, so he should have known when he made that kick.
Back in the middle, Vermont are great at taking their chances. That's why they're on top, undefeated, and probably haven't, in all earnest, looked like losing a game, even though Doncaster pushed them all the way. But it's now Blackburn getting the centre clearance and Hudson getting the free kick for the holding the man decision, was it, at centre forward?
Yeah, it appeared to be the case.
So from 55 metres or further, he should be able to get the distance while just putting it into the goal square and letting the wind do the rest for the journey. Hudson, it's only going to be a consolation goal, you'd reckon, but it was off the left and never came back because no wind would ever do that. It's 4-11-35 to Vermont 10-13-73.
Geez, I can't wait to listen back to this, Gavin and Steve. You've brought out some absolute beauties today.
Just for the troll factor between Gav and Damo, as the ball comes into the back pocket and away come Vermont now out down the centre wing area as they're taken there by Perry, uncontested, and he'll move, well, at least I think he was going. He's going to eat the clock up a little bit. There's 16 minutes gone now here in this final term, and he goes all the way back now here to Hyams, and just playing a bit of possum now here are Vermont. Goes in short and finds Johnson here on the half-back flank, and, well, his kick in short as well. And Davidson now plays on here for Vermont. The kick is wide and finds his teammate there in Lehman. Goes by hand now over the top to Perry, who's come across the other side of the ground. Perry still got the footy. Good handball disposal there to Lehman. And Vermont moved this up now here through Davidson. Davidson's long kick. Well, it took a hook turn and a half. Now in comes Whale Buxton. Good spoil there by Tominello. And wrapped up in the tackle. And we'll have a ball up on the centre half forward line here for Vermont.
They appear a bit tired, Blackburn. Just in that passage of play, Vermont looked to transition the ball with ease.
Tominello wins the tap down. Danaher tried to go by foot. It's finally cleared out there by Clay. A foot race there between Hyams and Kenworthy. It eludes McCafferty. And, well, taken high there, I thought. Play continues and goes over the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Just on what you said, Damo, just to get back on friendly terms, do you think the niggly injuries that Blackburn are said to be carrying have a bit of influence on their fitness?
Perhaps because that depth has to be brought in terms of the younger players and fulfilled by the younger players. Maybe they are struggling, and Vermont are a pressurised team as well.
So in comes the boundary throw, and we've got an infringement off the ball. No, we're going to have to take two of that. That breeze looks like it's localised, blowing in reverse over there on that side of the ground, unless I'm objected to.
Don't start the war.
Maybe I did want to. In comes the throw, as Bathy now and Whale Buxton. Whale Buxton wins the tap. It's booted out now here by Ellis to the centre wing area. Tominello, the lone hand back there for Blackburn. Controls a bouncing footy, gets the hand pass out. Faulkner swoops on it here for Blackburn. Gets tackled himself. Didn't get rid of the footy in time. Holding the ball, good decision there from the umpire, and Reed's going to go back and take this. He goes quickly by hand, and a Vermont come out now here through the corridor, going to have to hurry. Here's Ellis now with the footy, check side kick all the way across here to Crocker with Thorpe right on his tail, eludes that tackle. Crocker goes in short there, and we're going to late bump there, and as he was going to the bench too, Bathy, a bit of a hit and run, leaving the scene of an accident, and here comes the footy in deep, and all by himself is Parker, and he's going to line up from about 40 metres out, about a 5-degree angle, and maybe got Vermont's 11th goal.
Don't worry, Gus McLeod will get his licence details for us.
I think the umpire's going to award a yellow card here. He's followed him off the field, and Bathy's been given a yellow card. So the cops are onto them, mate.
Yeah, get off and stay off, he said.
Should be given a rev for the hit and run.
So, lining up is Parker. Hasn't got one this afternoon. Looking for his first, and Vermont's possibly 11th. 19 minutes gone, approaching time on here in the final term. So Parker moves in, and the kick's going to travel towards the left and out on the full. Not the result he was looking for, and Parker is going to bring it in, that being of the Luke Blackburn variety. And he goes in short now here to Macaulay. Quick hands off now, heads a Content. Had a quiet one this afternoon. His kick was smothered there brilliantly there by Johnson, but Blackburn regather it in. Here's Conker, his kick up towards the half-forward line. Plenty of... Oh! Well, at least I thought he took it, and it just spilled it at the end. That was Hammond there, trying to outdo his effort from earlier in the term. Well, into the stratosphere goes Jake Hammond, but Hyams has the footy now here for Vermont, and off to Perry, deep in his own end.
So Perry will just settle things down. Short pass back to Hyams on defensive 50. The point where he kicked that big goal in the third term. Yeah. But he's too far out this time, for certain. And Crocker helps him out with another short pass. The hand pass off to the runner, and here go Vermont through the corridor, loading the kick to Best, who marks it inside 50. That's a great pass because it had distance and to the advantage of the leading Best. And Best took the mark 45 out.
Kicks this final quarter 46-23 in favour of Vermont, so certainly dominating possession.
So no chance for the trailing Faulkner because it went further away from Best and gave Best the opportunity to run into the mark. So from 50 it'll test him on distance. No, it won't, but he misses to the left.
Gee, Jake Best is one that has absolutely tried his guts out all day. He runs, he chases, he tackles. Hasn't got the goals to his name, but he's done himself pretty proud today.
The wind might have just dropped off a bit, but it is now Vermont 10-14, 74 leading by 39, Blackburn 4-11-35. Hammond looking to take his astronaut license out or something, because mark of the year, I'm not sure.
There's only one award for mark of the day. He's trying to cash in too many of his chips as this one moves back.
Frequent flyer.
Here comes McCafferty, centering kick, and Compton was there for Blackburn. Ball on the deck, and they look to break out of the back line. All by his lonesome there is Dawson. He's got the footy now here on the wing. Goes by hand over the top, and trying to gather that in there was McIntyre. And well, contested footy will have a ball up. And on the centre wing area in front of the interchange, it looks like Dawson's going off injured here for Blackburn. So the casualty rate on the Blackburn bench by a yellow card and by injury mounting this afternoon. Here's Tumanello, wins the tap down, and that's not going anywhere. We'll have another ball up.
Just for anyone listening who's interested, Carlton leading Essendon by 4 points, 7 into the final term.
A lot of people are interested, especially right next to us, aren't they, Steve?
Exactly right. Here's Tumanello. One down by Whale Buxton, trying to burst through there was McComb, and Vermont just trying to grind it out here late in the fourth quarter, well into time on, 22 minutes gone. Tumanello wins the tap down, kick comes out onto it now. Here is Reid for Vermont with a bit of space, gets the hands out now here to Carey. Carey peels off and centres the footy back now here to McComb, uncontested mark, about 50 out. Now he plays on quickly, sprays it across. Two players there, one of them Wadley, and he'll go back and have a set shot from about 40 out.
And they weren't very disciplined in defence there, Blackburn. Too many loose players, and that was the contrast, I think, as well. Vermont have able to crowd Blackburn's forward line. It hasn't been reciprocated the other way.
I think it's taken a bit of a toll. The Vermont running Blackburn around today, I think it's really told us a lot about the fitness levels of both teams. So
Wadley just with the one goal in the third term, looking to make it his second for the afternoon. The kick is well to the right, and well, Blackburn players, Tumanello, one of them, end up punching that one into the pocket. Going to deck there was Reid, manages to keep the ball in. Here's Fagan now with his kick, and well, he's put that one well over the boundary line, out on the full. And Vermont are going to have a kick about 45 metres out on the acutest of angles. With 23 minutes gone deep into injury time, as Johnson going to bring this one back in here for Vermont. His kick, there's Wadley on the lead, looking by plenty of players, and a strong mark taken there by Macaulay. It's been great all day, despite a losing out. As soon as I said that, he kicked it straight into the man on the mark, and we'll have a ball up about 20 metres out from the Vermont goal.
That's the contrast in polish, isn't it? You have to have the attention to detail and have the ability to read what's around you.
So Tumanello wins the tap. That's going to go out of bounds, despite the efforts of Adam Parker. So as you can see, 74 plays 35.
Like how they have the winning raffle ticket on the scoreboard.
It's the only hope Blackburn are getting a win today, so they're highlighting it on the scoreboard.
It was Tumanello trying to pop that one out there was Cruz. The kick, though, was gathered straight back in and taken here by Carey for Vermont. He kicks down out into the pocket. Uncontested mark taken there by Schneider. It's been one of the best on ground here this afternoon.
He's been very good, particularly when the game was on the line in that first half. I think he really started.
So here's the kick from Schneider. Plenty of Blackburn players there, 3 to be exact. And Macaulay, a little too lackadaisical, awarded the mark in the end. And let's see if he doesn't kick into the man on the mark this time. No, he doesn't. So this one moved out there to the centre of the ground. Hammond's there, but beaten to it there by good job by Lehman. Ball on the deck. Hammond trying to win it back. Gives the footy back in. Great throw. Here's Danaher. Goes deep down. There's only Thorpe there in front of him. Thorpe there in a race there with Carey. And it's over the line just for the boundary throw in. And, chance goes begging there for Blackburn.
The ball ran on so much that Thorpe knocked it back to try to keep it in. Save it from being a point, which he did because he's knocked it out of bounds.
Hammond was like a worm on hands and knees, wasn't he, trying to squiggle his way through?
Dancing worm. You know, that one where you...
Can you do that?
No, cannot. Luckily, the camera's not in here to dare me on. There's another ball up, 30 metres out from Blackburn's goal. And this has been the difference. One end, Vermont clinch the goals when needed. But Blackburn went on top, haven't converted their inside 50s into goals. Now it's a contested ball close to the line and just left of the post. It does go out for another ball in.
Credit to the Blackburn fans, though. They haven't gone home. Still plenty of red jackets in display.
They've actually played well around the ground that you think they've always been in it. But if you look at the scoreboard...
They've broken down up forward.
Definitely. 39-point game. They've deserved to be closer. But Vermont, the professionals of the Eastern Footy League, will remain undefeated after 15 matches. Blackburn outside the 5 might drop a game outside 5 after this loss. The ball's in dispute in the middle. Blackburn just hand pass, hoping to get into an open player, but that player who grabs it has been quickly tackled, and getting up with the ball is Reed. Very tired and dejected, hands it over to the umpire.
Yeah, a bit disappointed in the body language of some of the Blackburn players in this last quarter.
So the ball up at centre back for Vermont as they try to get out of the congestion. This time it's Davidson who picks himself up with the ball. 26.5 minutes gone, fourth term. Quick punch out by Tumanello actually suits Vermont. Parker, quick kick, goes to centre forward. The defenders come in to tap it out towards the Vermont players. Now it might open up to the runners. It's into the 30 metres out. Now it's handed over to the skillful Whale Buxton. From the pocket, the ruckman puts it on the deck and he turns it in from 30 metres out. That is great skill from the big man.
Gee, it was a bit of a lucky bounce there for Whale Buxton right at the death knock, wasn't it? But
I'm giving it skill. You're saying luck.
You could always just see him approaching the contest. He knew exactly what he was going to do and he did it.
Ruckman aren't supposed to do that, are they?
See on the replay, it comes handed out to him on the second step, puts it to the right post, and it decides I'm going to turn left, and beautifully done.
Yeah, it was that left to right width, I've been telling you all day.
So contender for Fibro goal of the day, and we're going to have a free kick going the way now here of Blackburn. Here's Cruz, looking to move things quickly and perhaps get a consolation score now here for Blackburn. The kick up towards the half forward flank. It's knocked down. Harkins in there, as is Hudson. His hand pass finds Harkins, spills the footy. In come McComb. His hand pass intercepted there by McIntyre.
Well done.
Chased down there brilliantly by Ellis. And good tackle on Conker applied there by McCafferty. And the ball locked up, dropping the footy, or throw, take your pick. And Blackburn, I think that was well after the whistle was blown. Throw the call. Blackburn are going to get a free kick. About 35 out.
No, they played advantage.
Okay, thanks for that spot. As Tumanello going up there against Castricum. Tumanello wins the tap, but Vermont clear the footy. Plenty of space. No one forward there of the centre square. As Tyler Faulkner sounds it out. That will do it. Vermont 11-14-80. They have defeated Blackburn here for 11-35. And a convincing game of footy here from the Eagles. They remain undefeated.
Well, it's been one of those Expressions of dominance from the Vermont Football Club today. 45 points, even though they were tested right up until the 10-minute mark of the third term. They just ran away when the pressure was applied, and that is the hallmark of a champion team, it has to be said.
7 goals in 45 minutes, really, when you think about it.
And they ground them down, Vermont, didn't they? They absolutely just, they started slowly. It was a tight type of game early on. Bit of a scrappy game, it looked like being like in a low-scoring game. But as we saw throughout the game, they had bursts of 5, 6, 3 minutes, or whatever they needed to kick goals in a row and in a hurry. And ended up being Blackburn's undoing.
Yes, certainly was. And just a couple of final scores that are coming through. Baldwin had defeated South Croydon by 7 goals.
Wow.
And Ringwood defeating Baronia, I believe, by 20 points. Baronia's final score, 1 goal, 15-21. So very inaccurate.
Slightly inaccurate, yeah.
At least they got one on the board. A Mark Arsieri type result there, if you know football history.
I was actually listening to the radio hoping that goal would never happen.
Yeah, typical dog supporters.
Thank you.
But fantastic win here to Vermont. They had a number of star players, didn't they? I like